And welcome back to the Today with Tally podcast, folks. We have a great show in store for you today. Look, I want to break down this whole Luigi Mangione case out of New York City. The 26-year-old Ivy Leaguer who basically assassinated the CEO of UnitedHealthcare the morning he was leaving the Hilton Hotel on Broadway in Manhattan, heading to a meeting. Now, this, from what I understand, is all stemming from back pain from Luigi Mangione and the unfairness and the unjust in the system of medicine in the United States, as well as insurance, healthcare. So apparently he was in bad enough pain, physically, mentally, and emotionally, for him to make a decision that would ultimately take the life of this CEO. Now, I wanted to talk about this because this completely hits home for me. Being a chronic pain patient, having been eaten alive from the inside out for over 4 months. I understand pain. Having several back surgeries and having disc removed from your back and tissue and nerves and basically things disconnected in my body that no longer work and haven't worked now for 9 years next month. Luigi is a smart guy. Like I said, he's an Ivy Leaguer. He's a bright mind. But pain does not discriminate. I even hear he came from a wealthy household. And it doesn't matter what color, creed, socioeconomic background, religion. It doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. Pain does not discriminate. Everybody suffers pain in their life. Others just perhaps may suffer more than you. But whatever your level of pain is what your level of pain is. And if you've never felt anything more than that, that's your level of pain. So your level of pain could be a 10 where somebody else's could be a 2. But your 10 is, whoa, I'm in bed. I can't deal with this. Or I'm taking my meds and, there is nothing that I can do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rest this sucker out and hope it just fades away. So this Mangione was going through a lot of back issues. I get it. I still go through it today. And but here's the part that is getting kind of crazy out there. There are tens of thousands of Americans that are emailing this guy's attorney saying, I want to pay the legal fees, or at least help. This guy's a hero. He's a hero for taking out the CEO of a large insurance company. And look, I know life is unfair and it's full of injustice every single day in this country, but it's the system that we have. It's the system that we have in place. And it is it is unforgiving. And so many families go through horrifying and egregious moments in the hospital with the loved one, or childhood cancers, seeing your loved ones not being able to afford medicine and healthcare. And so they end up passing away due to really no fault of their own. I mean, the greed here is off the charts, and I've lived it. I haven't lived it on the civilian side. I've lived it more so in the VA side, where I fell victim to VA medical malpractice. And it nearly cost me my life. It cost me my livelihood and my life savings and my retirement, my business, my assets. We had to start all over. We had to start all over again with a family of 6, 4 children that were put through hell alongside me when I was actually living in hell in my own home, in a room I never came out of for over 4 years, self-isolating in a chair, suffering from all sorts of pain, all 3 levels of pain, the physical pain, the emotional pain, the mental pain, the anguish, the 40 pills a day just to make it through the day. I get it. But we just can't go taking out CEOs every single time something goes wrong with an issue. If that's the case, we probably wouldn't even have a VA for what they did to me and what they've done to tens of thousands of others of veterans for years and years. The injustice that goes on in VA hospitals it's very similar to what we see of the likes of the injustice that go on in civilian hospitals. It's very similar. You might get better care in a civilian hospital, but look, let's face it, medicine in this country is broken. The insurance companies are greedy, and it drives people to breaking points. How many people have taken their own lives because of pain? Tons and tons and tons, but we never hear about it unless they're veterans. But on the civilian side, it's very high as well. And they're suffering from the same symptoms. Pain changes people. It changes the way you look at life. It changes your thought process. It changes everything. You don't want to go hang out with your friends. You don't want to talk on the phone. You don't want to go to any events. You don't want to do anything except for medicate and rest. And then you get caught up in that. And then what? Then it destroys you. You begin to fall into this trap that you can never get out of. And it's a trap of anger. And depending on where that anger takes you, you could go out and potentially commit the same thing, the same atrocity that Luigi Mangione did in New York while seeking out UnitedHealthcare's top employee, the CEO, to say, you're responsible for this. Now, I don't know the backstory, if you will, no pun intended, on this Luigi Mangione. All I know is that he was a very upset and disgruntled man who thought that he could have received better care. And when I say that pain changes people, it changes you forever. A lot of folks, when they're suffering through pain, they never really get out of the pain because it's suffering. And I'm not talking little bits of pain here. I'm talking pain that puts you on your bathroom floor and you're curled up like an infant, trying to find any relief that you possibly can from those cold tiles. And you can't use the restroom because your bladder is so full. And see, folks, when you have back pain, everything is connected. They have so many different nerves and nerve endings, and sometimes things just don't work the way that they're supposed to work because of the underlying conditions that may be causing the pain. Now, this Luigi said that, look, his sex life, he couldn't even have sex. Well, join the party, pal. It's been 9 years. That's what happens when you get eaten from the inside out. Your spine, all 3 levels, and your internal organs. If anybody completely understands tenfold what you went through, it's me. But you chose a different route than me. You know, there's so many things in life that we can do to stand up and fight for what's right in an honorable way. And look, I get it. Pain hurts, and we all deal with it in different ways. But folks, we just can't deal with it like this. In my weakest and most vulnerable time in need, I drafted legislation. And in his weakest and most vulnerable time in need, he got a gun. He got a gun. He picked up a gun and I picked up a pen, folks. That bill right behind me right there that we passed in Congress to protect the rights of all veterans who suffer from VA medical malpractice. We changed a lot of things in the federal tort claim arena. The medical malpractice is always going to be there, but it's what happens afterwards that will ultimately define where the veteran goes. And that walk that he will take or she will take after dealing with the atrocities that they went through due to no fault of their own. Perhaps he could have done the same thing. Perhaps he could have picked up a pen and maybe scheduled a meeting with the CEO, talk about their indifferences, come up with a solution, and perhaps fix these bureaucratic policies. We have over 350 million people in this country. And we have like 600 people running it. All right, you got what, 100 U.S. senators, you got what, 350, 400 members of Congress, and in the House. Okay, so let's just say on the high side for it. So you got 500 there, and then you have another 100, the cabinet members, the president of the United States, and then you have, a couple of bureaucrats behind the veil. So let's say 700 people. And we have 350 million people in this country. But yet 350 million people in this country don't understand the power that we have. And that the folks that create the laws work for us, the American people. But things have gotten so twisted that people have gotten afraid. My voice doesn't matter. They'll ignore me. I'm a nobody. And that's where we're at. Because people have allowed these folks in very high places to do whatever they want, to go unchecked. And power breeds power. Will we see more of these? I think so. I think these copycat events could be very real. And let me explain. I was just in Denver at DIA, the airport, on the layover just a couple days ago. My flight's delayed, and the people that are getting on the plane next, the 2 pilots, and there was 3 flight attendants. We were all just kind of huddled in the same area, and I began a little bit of small talk. And the next thing you know, this Mangione case comes up, and One of the flight attendants said, the United Airlines CEO better take note. He better take notice. And guess what the pilots and the flight attendants did? They all agreed. We got a big problem in this country and people are angry. But it's not the right way to do and conduct business. Again, we have all the power in the world. We just don't use it. Oh, we're going to go protest. Yeah, but you can't just burn things down. You got to do the hard work. You got to go and advocate as a professional, and do it in an honorable way. Do it in a way that you're not going to destroy your family name and your credibility and everything else that you've ever worked so hard for because of pain or injustice. There's so many other ways that you can contribute to change the system. When you are suffering in pain, your thought process is 100% not who you are. You become somebody different. Like when I was going through my stuff, a part of me died. 100%. I'll never get that same guy back. He's gone. I've had to reinvent myself and recreate myself and rebrand myself. I lost it all. I can't go back to that job because it's going to destroy my body even more. And besides, when you live in a chair for over 4 years and you put on 100 pounds and you're living in this anxiety-riddled, depressed state of, do I even want to continue on? That hurts. When you have your livelihood stripped from you, that hurts. When you can't reproduce and do the things that you used to love and affection, that hurts. Talk about taking a hit. Pride in a man. I'm glad I have my family. But what they stole from me is beyond unforgivable. And I'm angry. I'm so angry. Every single day I'm angry because I think about it every single day because I'm in pain every single day. Yeah, I still take 20 pills, but it's not 40. I'm working on it. But I walk every day. I do the hard stuff, even when I don't want to. Got an intermittent fast, got to basically starve myself so I don't put on this weight anymore, because if the more weight I put on, the more my pain comes back on my spine and my joints, and the neuropathy just gets worse. And before you know it, you're back in that chair again. So you got to do the hard stuff to keep yourself out of that chair, even though you suffer from chronic pain, and it's only going to continue to get worse because of the degeneration in your body as we get older. So when I saw that this man did what he did because of back surgery and pain, I immediately said, people don't understand pain until they have hit the absolute rock bottom of pain. But again, no green light to go out and do what this man did. But unfortunately, by him doing what he did, which is the complete easy way out, he's setting a precedent in this country that it's okay to go out and do these things and commit these atrocities and have people talk about it like it's normal. But then again, when you have a governor of Minnesota that gave the green light to destroy his city of Minneapolis and surrounding cities because of an injustice, seems to be the flavor of the day, the flavor of the month, the flavor of the year, perhaps the flavor of the decade, to just go burn it down when things don't go your way. We got to get out of that way of thinking, folks. And life is unfair. It is so unfair. Some people got it all and some people don't. Some people got all the luck and some people just don't. Things work for some and they don't for others. Nothing can go right for some people and nothing can go wrong for others. It's just not fair. And the system is stacked against the majority of us. But it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't need to be that way. Oh, I'm in too much pain. I can't do that. I've proved that you can be a walking testimony and improve your situation no matter what the cause is. I remember when this first started in January of 2016, and I was on the floor and I was begging my wife to call an ambulance because I was in so much pain. And she says, ambulance? I'll just take you into the ER. I mean, ambulance. Because I've never said those words before. And then when you get there, you're in so much pain that you've never even experienced before. You have a panic attack. And the clinicians come out and give you 2 shots, not one, but 2 shots of Dilaudid, a battlefield opioid, and a bag of pills. Again, this would go on for over 4 months. The negligence. As my body is being eaten by a bone-eating staph infection. Folks, I understand pain. I understand living with pain. Some people can't handle it. Some people can't handle pain. And that's why we have so many overdoses in this country. Do we need reform? Absolutely. Can we improve the way that we treat pain patients? Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot that we could offer as a country that could improve the quality of life of pain patients. But it's a two-way street. You can't depend on others to fix you. You have to be willing to help heal yourself. And with that comes great responsibility. It takes you willing to stand up in the face of adversity and face the pain head on. And folks, it's not an easy walk. It is not an easy walk. But it's a walk that needs to be done, and it's a walk that is worth taking. Especially when you can look back and say, I remember those dark days. Dark days. Days where that gun, it was right here. Because it's so brutal to live through and experience pain at the highest levels that a human being can even take. Then the anger. And then we have a raging wildfire that is burning out of control. And sometimes this is what happens. This is the result. Pain destroys families. It destroys relationships. It destroys marriages. It destroys your financial future. It destroys everything. And if you let it, it will absolutely destroy you. But I remember how bad it was. So I forced myself every single day to put myself in uncomfortable situations so I'd never have to experience that again. And the way I was experiencing it in my mental prison I was living in. And don't get it twisted. A lot of my pain it's all here. It's all still relevant, but you got to understand if you're happy, it's a lot easier to manage pain than when you're sad, angry, depressed, anxiety riddled. It's just so much easier to manage it. But it's taken people from those dark days and those dark moments in helping turn their lives around to live the life that you were intended to live, even with your life being forever changed due to pain. It can be managed if you allow yourself to mentally allow yourself to do it. Because a lot of the times when you're in pain, you just want to be mad. You just want to be mad. Everything's just frustrating. I can't go to the bathroom. The majority of the time I have to cath myself because my bladder has been paralyzed. I have a neurogenic bladder that is a paralyzed bladder, and everything around it has been removed or eaten away, which explains the whole, intimate part of my life that for 9 years, it's gone. Depression is real. Pain is real. Anxiety is real. Pain is real. But it's how we manage it. It is how we manage it that will ultimately define who you are moving forward and whatever legacy you may leave behind. How do you want to be remembered? There's so many motivational speakers out there and inspirational speakers and folks that are always wanting to drop some encouragement. A lot of the times that when you're a pain patient, you say, you don't understand what I'm going through. It's unbearable. My pain is unbearable. You don't get it. So I'm not going to listen to you and your advice because you're living this awesome life and you have no pain. And you want to get me motivated. I've lived it. And I've realized that there's nobody out there that can motivate me more than me. Give it a shot sometime. Look at yourself in the mirror. That's your biggest competition in the whole world. It's you versus you. There's nobody else out there. To hell with an accountability partner. Those last for 2 weeks. To hell with I'm going to cut back on carbs. Yeah, that lasts 2 weeks. If you ever want to improve yourself, you need to do it and never look back. And it's not easy being disciplined every single day. But it will create the man or the woman that you want to be. Believe me, I am a walking, talking testament of that. I'm going to start intermittent fasting. I said that over 4.5 years ago. I've never missed a fast. I eat 1 meal a day. You think that's tough? Absolutely. But I've trained my body to do that. Why? Because my body's been destroyed on the inside, and I need to take accountability if I want to live a longer life than what I am supposed to be living right now, because I lost over 5 years of it due to pain and medical negligence and malpractice. So it's my responsibility to help fix me. It's not a doctor. It's not an insurance company. It's no entity. It's me. It's me versus me. You have to do the hard things if you want more out of life. You can't just listen to something and, oh, wow, and then walk away and forget it. Challenge yourself. I go on walks every day. I started that 5 years ago. That's what helped get me out of my chair. That was killing me even more than my pain. I first started just going downstairs. And then the next day I'd go down the stairs and I'd make it to the refrigerator. Everything was brought to me. I mean, we could piss in a bucket for 4 years, because you can't get out of your chair because of pain. I mean, like, what do? You got to straddle a freaking bucket because you can't even make it to the bathroom. But I'm like, is this my life? Like, I'm going to be in a wheelchair and a walker for the rest of my life? Like, how am I going to continue? This pain's already consumed me. It's already stolen everything from me. Okay, bad doctors, bad policy. I get it. I was dealt a bad hand, but that's the hand I was dealt. Then the next day I'd go to the mailbox. And then after I'd get done with the mailbox, I said, I'm going to do a lap around the block. And then 2 laps. And now I'm walking a very comfortable amount of steps that help me mentally, probably more so than physically. Because before my medical malpractice incident, I mean, I was going to the gym. I owned a small business. I was coaching my kids. I was hands-on. And then it all stopped. My dream stopped. And then hell ensued. Living in a prison in my own home. Folks, I get pain. I understand. I understand pain. So now for 4.5 and 5 years, I have not walked and not intermittent fasted. Never looked back. I just did it cold turkey. And it's taken so much time to do it the right way, and effort, and discipline, and challenging myself and setting goals. Like I said, I lost well over 5 years of my life. And still today, I lose a lot of days of my life. Giving back to so many other people on a voluntary basis who are going through the same struggles that I was going through and still am today. I don't get that time back. It's not a fair life. But we cannot have folks like Luigi Mangione going out and taking out CEOs and taking out entities because they don't feel good, because they're in pain. So many other ways that you can engage without doing that. To do something that you'll regret for the rest of your life when you could have made things better for yourself and improve those daily struggles and to work on recovering from the life challenges and the hardships that come with pain. And to reinvent yourself because you've probably lost your job or your career and you don't know what to do. The world is caving in around you. It is dark. And you're in this forest all by yourself and there's no way out. The way I'd like to explain it was I was in this box and it was freaking all concrete and them walls were like 80 feet tall. And I was trying to get out so badly. And I'd gnaw my fingernails down to nothing, to skin, to blood. I couldn't get out. I was trapped. I was trapped for so many years. Surgeries and more bad news, all because of medical malpractice. Yeah. It's destroyed my life. But I'm making it better for myself and for my family. And so can you. So can you. Everybody has a different set of circumstances. Everybody has different things going on in their life. Pain can cause church-going folks who have never experienced with alcohol to become alcoholics. Pain can cause church-going folks who have never experienced or have ever dabbled in narcotics to become heroin addicts. That's when the pills no longer work. Pain can drive you to go over that bridge. Or to take that handful, that bed. I've been there. Your mind goes to the worst of things when you're in pain. And trust me, you don't know imagination until you've dealt with pain. Not all pain is physical. There's so much mental and emotional pain out there as well. But the physical pain is what breeds the emotional pain and the mental pain. That's where the physical pain breeds the anxiety and the bipolar type type personalities, the good days, the bad days. It's either a 10 or nothing. And then the pain will breed the depression. And that's what keeps you down. So, kind of a little different podcast today. Don't have notes. I'm just speaking off the cuff here in hopes that maybe, I can reach some people out there that may be going through some tough times in their life, and some of the things in life you may not want to hear. He doesn't get it. I'm not gonna go on a walk. I can't. Dude, every day I walk, I'm in stupid pain. As a matter of fact, I've fallen down a lot. As a matter of fact, last year I fell down so hard I almost broke my leg because I was having a neuropathy attack, but I finished my walk. And I've got the receipts to prove it. My leg just swelled up so much my skin was, you could see it ripping down my shin. But I have become so obsessive in beating and battling the demons of pain that I will do whatever it takes to keep myself as positively engaged as I possibly can. And trust me, it's not an easy walk. But it's the only walk that it's my only option. Can't get a new spine. I can't get any of that stuff back. It's gone. It's gone. Forward is the only motion. So I'm going to wrap this sucker up. Don't forget to go like, share, and subscribe to the program. It's really never been easier to listen to this podcast. I try to make it as accessible as possible to everybody out there. We're on Facebook. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube, Amazon Music. We're on iHeartRadio, X, even though sometimes X is good, sometimes it's not. It doesn't really seem like a platform that a lot of people are going to listen to podcasts. It's like more like a pissing contest these days. More so, and I mean that's how it's always been. So again, you have to kind of keep yourself mentally focused. And by doing that, sometimes you need to remove yourself from things that might get you going a little bit, if you will. All you gotta do is just search Today with Tally and any of those sites, and it should populate. Also learn more about me and my personal story. You can get my new book over at briantally.com. That's briantally.com. There's my book. I didn't choose this job. It chose me. Here I am 9 years later, still picking up the pieces of something that should have never happened. I get anger. Trust me, I get it. But we got to keep the train on the tracks. Folks, remember to stay inspired, stay encouraged, stay motivated, and always stay in the fight. Until next time for the Today with Tally podcast, this is Brian Tally. Good night. Semper Fi. God bless.